really want to go full time in your coaching business. You've been showing up, you've been taking action, but the action that you are taking, it's not really getting you the results that you want to see to be able to transition full time. So you're probably bringing in 2K, 3K every other month. And so you really know that you need at least a consistent 5 to 10K months consistently so that you can be comfortable with transitioning into your coaching business full time. And you're wondering constantly to yourself, okay, what's actually blocking me from transitioning? What's actually blocking me from bringing in consistent income, sustainable income month after month after month? And I have good news for you because in this episode of the Daily Dose, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what's actually blocking you from going full time in your coaching business. We're going to break it down. All right. I'm going to be putting on my nursing cap and I'm going to be breaking down exactly what's happening. I'm going to give you the symptom, I'm going to give you the history, the diagnosis, and the prescription to fix that. So, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Dose with yours truly. My name is Janel Ranée, and I help you to transition into your business, your coaching business full time without chasing clients, without fighting the algorithm, without self-sabotaging, without sacrificing time with your family. And the Daily Dose is where I go before the Lord and sit before Him, and I'm like, all right, Lord, what should I share today? And He pours out into me, and I pour out into you. It's the overflow, divine overflow of spirit-led empowerment. That's what the dose stands for. Divine overflow of spirit-led empowerment, equipping, encouragement on your entrepreneurial journey. All right. So today's episode is going to be so good. I'm so excited to bring it forth. It's just, I love it because it literally allows me to tie in my many years of nursing into business. And this is what I just feel so led and called to do. And so I'm going to be jumping into exactly what's happening, right? So we know, right, that there are 4 nervous system responses that your body will have. And so we're going to be really dissecting the freeze response in this episode of the Daily Dose, because what does that even look like, right? So let's just jump into it. And so right now, your symptoms. So we're going to, like I mentioned before, we're going to be jumping into, I'm going to be highlighting couldn't find my thing. We're going to be highlighting the symptom, the history, and the diagnosis, and I'm going to be giving you a prescription. All right. So I'm going to be sharing with you right now what your current symptoms are and how is it showing up and affecting your business. So right now, your current symptom is it's coming up as avoidance, right? So I said in the very beginning that you are showing up, you're taking action, you're creating the emails, you're creating the content, you're following up in the DMs, you're going live, you're launching, you're hosting your webinar, you're doing all the things to really grow your business, right? And however, the thing about it is, even though you're doing those things, what it looks like is when you are doing those things, you're thinking in your mind like, oh, I don't know if this is working. Or you are thinking in your mind like, I don't know what to say. And as a result of that, you're procrastinating. It's a level of avoidance there. The symptom is avoidance because you're procrastinating. Like, you know what to do and you're taking action, but you're slow to do it. It's really important to market your business. You understand the importance of marketing and showing up for your business. And so instead of it being first thing, you are prioritizing all the other things in your life, your day in and day out life, and not prioritizing your marketing. You're not prioritizing selling. You're not prioritizing putting your offer out there so that people can know who you are, what you do, who you help. And what does this look like? So you tell yourself you're going to go live, right? And you do go live, but when you go live in the evening when you're already super tired, when you're already, just been overwhelmed with the day. And that's because you're procrastinating, you're putting it off. You're, instead of, going live first thing in the morning, or like, even if you have to go to work, maybe finding a time, maybe on your lunch break, or a time when you still have some energy, you're putting it off to the very end. And so you are running errands, or maybe you're, like cleaning the kitchen. Now all of a sudden, your this kitchen all of a sudden is priority, right? And so instead of you prioritizing the needle moving tasks in your business, you're actually just putting it off to the very end, right? You're just putting it off to the very end. And you may be like, maybe you start doing a task and then you're easily distracted, and you start and you stop. You start a task and then you stop when something else pops up. And it's really just a level of avoidance. It's really your body signaling to you, we're not safe. Let's avoid this. Let's preserve energy, because your brain just wants to seek pleasure. It wants to protect you, and it wants to preserve energy. And so the moment that you're doing the things that are necessary to grow your business, you find that you are distracted doing other things. You're running errands. All of a sudden, returning the bananas to Walmart became top priority instead of you sending the email. And so this is what avoidance looks like. These are the symptoms that are coming up in your day in and day out in your business, right? But we're going to get to the history. And so the reason for that is because the history is past disappointments. You've launched programs before and it was like, it flopped. You didn't get the response that you wanted. You spent hours creating content and you didn't get the views that you wanted. You spent so much time and dedication to creating the perfect webinar or the perfect sales pitch, and the person said no. And so you've been disappointed time after time after time in your business. And as a result of that, now you're feeling discouraged. Now your body still remembers that feeling of disappointment, or the feeling of embarrassment, or judgment or shame. And so because of it, it's like it's remembering those things. And this is what's causing the symptom of avoidance, is because of the history. All right. And so as a nurse, we always had to ask our patients, what's the history? I mean, what are the symptoms that you're currently coming in with in the ER? What are your symptoms? Okay, what's your history? Do you have a history, medical history? What happened with your family, right? What is your medical history of your family? What's any diagnoses with your mom, with your dad? And so it's just beautiful to be able to bring this right back into my coaching business. This is exactly how I assess my clients as well. Okay. And so once you have the history, once you have understanding of the history and what's causing what's causing the symptoms, right? So you have the symptoms, history, and now we're going to jump into the diagnosis. And so as a nurse, I can't diagnose like a doctor, but I can there are nursing diagnoses. And so in your business, your diagnosis is what-if-itis. What-if-itis. This is what I call what-if-itis. What if I fail? What if I launch again and I'm disappointed and heartbroken? What if the client says no and I feel rejected and I feel embarrassed? What if I do succeed and I can't handle the success? What if it's too much work? What if I'm overwhelmed? What if I, do go full time in my coaching business, but I have to chase clients, or my income isn't as stable as my paycheck right now? So subconsciously, these are the thoughts that you're thinking, right? Even though consciously you want to go full time in your business, you want to be free, you want to live life on your own terms. Subconsciously, you're suffering from what-if-itis, and you're thinking of all the things that can possibly go wrong when you do resign, right? And this is causing you to operate in freeze mode. So this is what's causing the symptom of avoidance. The reason why you should be putting content out there, you should be showing up, you should be sending the emails, but you're doing it towards the end of the day, right? And what that looks like is when you are creating, you are showing up, you're creating content from the energy of what if instead of as if. And I'm going to break that down a little further. All right. I'm going to break that down in detail in the next step. And so you're creating the content, but when you're sending the email, you're thinking, what if this doesn't work? What if no one buys? What if I try again and I fail? There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of questioning. There's a lot of doubt because of the past disappointment, because of just being discouraged, right? And so we're going to jump into what the prescription is, right? So we covered what the symptom is: avoidance, procrastination, hesitation, starting and stopping. The history of it was because of past disappointments. The diagnosis is what-if-itis. You're currently operating in freeze mode. And now the prescription is believed behavior blueprint. This is a framework that I use inside of my coaching program, RESIGN, Business by Belief, now known as RESIGN. And the believed behavior blueprint is such a powerful tool that I use on pretty much almost all of my sessions, because this is the tool that I use to bring awareness to my clients so that they can see exactly how their beliefs are leading to their feelings are leading to their behaviors are leading to the fruition, the results of what it is that they're seeing, right? And so this is the breakdown. You have a fact, you have a belief about that fact. Every belief, every thought has a feeling attached to it. Every thought. You'll never have a thought without a feeling. It goes hand in hand. And so that belief is leading to a feeling, and that feeling leads to your behavior. You do the things that you feel like doing, right? And that behavior leads to the fruition. And so if you are having beliefs, but you're suffering from what-if-itis, and so you're sending the email, but you're doing it like I said, from a place of, from a belief of, what if no one signs up? What if this launch flops again? What if no one clicks, right? And so that's a result of, because of that belief, that leads to feelings of maybe anxiety or frustration. And so you're sending the email, you're doing the action, you're doing the behavior, you're sending the email, but you're doing it from a feeling of frustration. You're doing it from a feeling of fear. You're doing it from a feeling of doubt. And guess what? Regardless of whatever content you're creating, whether it be verbal, talking head, live, emails, carousels, whatever content you're doing, it's the energy that you're doing it from that people feel. It's the conviction, it's the level of conviction that you're speaking with that people are going to feel. And so if you are having feelings of doubt and you're doing the action, you're doing the behavior, what is the fruition? The fruition is exactly what you're feeling from the belief. It's a loop. So if you're believing that no one's going to sign up, and you're thinking that, when you show up and when you're doing the actions, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to come into fruition because of your belief systems. And so many times, many coaches, they'll try to treat the symptom, right? They think, oh yeah, procrastination, just hustle, get a content creator, show up, do this, do that, grind, hustle. But they're just leading you more into another nervous system response, which is just fight mode. And that only leads to burnout. And so my approach is different, because inside of the believed behavior blueprint, this is just one of the tools that I use inside of my program, RESIGN. We look at your beliefs, right? Because if you're creating content from what if, that energy is going to repel, versus if you create content from as if. And what is as if, right? Inside of my program, we don't just fix your actions, we fix your beliefs, creating the actions. All right. It's not just about doing the thing, it's doing it from an energy and from a belief system that actually believes that it's working, knowing that it's working, knowing that people are going to sign up, knowing that your launch is going to do so well. showing up from that energy. Right now, I'm showing up. I'm showing up as if I'm speaking to thousands of people. Even though right now my content doesn't get much views, but guess what? I'm still showing up as if. And this is the work. This is the work. And so fear, we've heard it said that fear says, what if? Faith says, even if, I'm still going to go forth. But I believe faith says, imagine if. Faith says, act as if. Faith says, assume as if it's working out, as if you're already full time, as if clients are signing on. I say walk as if. The Bible says walk as if, talk as if, believe as if it's already done, because it is. And so if God has promised you to go full time in your coaching business, he's promised you, he's shown you a vision of yourself being present with your children while still making money from your purpose work, making beautiful profits from doing the work that you love, helping other people, serving other people while still being present with your children. Operate as if. When you're sending the email, operate as if it's already done. Pouring out as if it's already done. And so reflecting back on the belief behavior blueprint, the fact is maybe creating the YouTube video, right? The fact is marketing your business. And so in the method that you're doing it is your YouTube video. And so because you've had a history before of like past disappointments, and maybe you've spent hours editing a video and it didn't get the views that you wanted, or it didn't get the signups to your workshop or your webinar or whatever your middle of funnel is. Like, instead of reminiscing on the past, you need to form future memories. And what does that mean? Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what's reality and what's imagined. And so it's really important. This is why I do the work that I do, reprogramming the mind and rewiring your belief systems, because it's important for you to create mind memories through imagination. And so when you do this, you now operate from a belief that it's already done, it's already working. And so if you see a vision of serving 10 clients right now in your coaching business, in your group membership, or whatever it is, I want to encourage you to believe and see it. You have to see it here before you actually see it in the physical. Everything is created in the mind first. And so you have to believe that when you are creating that YouTube video, spending whatever hours, 3 hours editing it, showing up and speaking from a place of belief, knowing that you are going to sign those 10 clients. And that feeling is excitement. That feeling is inspiration. That feeling is empowerment. And so when you operate from that feeling, that energy that's fueled behind creating the content, behind showing up, behind editing, that energy is what's going to exude. Because you can say all the right things, but people can always sense your energy. They can always sense your conviction. Energy never lies. And it all stems from your belief system. What are you believing when you're showing up? And then as a result of that, that's when you're going to see the results. So I often share how a recent client of mine, she was a coach for 3 years. She was 2 years. I'm sorry. So she was certified as a coach for 2 years and never signed a client. And just after 2 weeks of working with me, she booked her first client. Why? We didn't shift all of what she did. She wasn't even fully finished with her offer yet. But guess what? She had we worked on her offer, but it wasn't completely mapped out yet. And within 2 weeks, even just with just a simple framework. So she had her framework, but the full offer wasn't mapped out. And even with that, she was able to sign her first client after 2 years of trying on her own. And so this is the magnitude of the work that we do, because it's not in the work that you're doing, it's the energy that you're doing it from. It's the beliefs that you're doing it from. And so you're currently creating from energy of what if, but what you need to do is shift it from as if, shift it towards as if, operating as if, walking as if, talking as if you're a booked out coach, talking as if you're already full time, talking as if your business is thriving, talking as if and walking as if and acting as if and assuming as if you're booking 10K, take 10K months consistently in your business, 20K months consistently in your business. This is how you need to be showing up, by faith. Fear is what-if-itis, right? If you continue to operate by fear, you're going to be continued, you're literally still going to be diagnosed with what-if-itis, and you're going to stay in freeze mode. But when you operate from a place of fear by switching your belief systems, using my believed behavior blueprint, I map it out inside of my program, but I'm just giving you a gist of just overall what that looks like. It's shifting your beliefs. Your beliefs, your subconscious mind is what's responsible for your automatic nervous system. So when you're subconsciously thinking what ifs and you're diagnosed with what-if-itis, this is what causes your body, your nervous system, to operate in a freeze mode. And I just went over freeze mode in this episode, but there's freeze mode, there's fight. Was it yesterday that I went over fight mode? There's fawn mode, and there's flight mode. And so you want to make sure that you are understanding how your body works so you can work with your body's natural design when you're building your business, so that your body doesn't work against you. Learning how your body works will allow you to work with your body and not against your body. Okay, understanding how it works. And so as a registered nurse turned business coach, this is why I'm just excited to do the work that I do and to incorporate my skill and just my assessment skills as a nurse into business. And so I do have a question for you. What past disappointments have you been secretly afraid to attempt again? Because this is what's causing you to operate in a nervous response that is blocking the business success that you want to see. All right. So what's actually blocking you from going full-time in your coaching business is not understanding the believed behavior blueprint, not understanding how your beliefs, right? Your beliefs shift to your feelings lead to behaviors, and those behaviors, depending on the energy behind those behaviors, the action that you're taking, leads to the fruition. So once you understand this, once you understand the belief behavior blueprint, once you understand this and lock this in, then and only then will you be able to actually resign, no longer allowing your nervous system to block the success because of the subconscious belief blocks. And so I really want you to take some time to sit with the Lord and take out your pen, your journal, and really ask yourself this question. What past disappointments have you been secretly afraid to attempt again? Because that's what's causing you to not take action. You know what's happening? Freeze mode is protection from your future pain. Because your body still remembers your past disappointments, it's causing a block. It's saying, nope, we can't do that again, because remember the last time you launched, you failed. We don't want to feel that feeling of disappointment again. We don't want to feel that frustration anymore. And so this is why the symptom of avoidance keeps showing up in your business. You know exactly what to do, but you're not doing it. And you are doing it, but you're doing it from a place of what-if-itis. You're doing it from a place of fear. So your symptom was avoidance, the history, past disappointments, diagnosis, what-if-itis, freeze mode, and your prescription is the the belief behavior blueprint inside of my coaching program, Resign. And actually, inside of my Call to Coach workshop, I go deeper into this. Like, I literally show you exactly how the belief behavior blueprint works. And so jump into my live workshop, Call to Coach. If you know God has called you to coach, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 secrets to get you transitioned from your career into your calling of coaching full time without chasing clients, without fighting the algorithm, without a large audience, and without self-sabotaging. All right. And so that's what we're going to be breaking down inside of the Call to Coach workshop. If you want to learn how to finally go full time in your coaching business, I encourage you to just click the link in the description. It'll be down there for you to sign up. I'm going to be hosting it live. Okay. And so let me know if you have any questions at all about anything that I discussed. Let me just check the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Hello, Frederick. Good morning. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. Before I go, I'm going to tell you, just as God told me, put one foot in front of the other, step out on faith, and trust God for the next step. I'll see you Monday. Monday is actually going to be episode 100, and I'm super excited about that. So I'll see you on Monday for episode 100 of the Daily Dose. All right, have a blessed one.